Hello everybody, this is Isaac. Going over an issue that I had with my bike a couple of months ago. Taking it home on the freeway from work, and my speedometer cable fell out of the bike. So I was recording with my GoPro. I just have it mounted up on my helmet, and I was over by the Wisconsin State Fair Park, and I looked down to look at my speedometer, and I notice it's showing I'm going 0 miles an hour. Now, I had this same type of thing happen to me before. It turned out that previous time that there's a washer that was supposed to be flat, that's got a couple of notches on it that ties the speedometer in the front wheel hub to the speedometer cable, and either somewhere along that line I was replacing the front wheel or something like that, that washer got bent, and so it wasn't grabbing onto the hub and powering the, or it wasn't running the cable. So I was just assuming that's what it was, and you know, the cable, or the washer just flattened or curved again. And so I just, you know, continued riding. The GoPro I had set that it would only record and save like the past 10 minutes of it, so I didn't end up actually getting that part filmed because I thought no big deal. Typically I would take the freeway basically all the way home, but there was construction going on, so I had to leave, or you know, get off early, and so that was the bit that we were seeing there. And so when I pull up here at the intersection, I'm like, you know, I'll take a look and see what's going on with my speedometer. You can't see it because of the camera not aimed quite how my eyes were. But when I looked down there, the cable wasn't even attached to the front wheel anymore. It was just hanging loose, which means it could have gotten stuck into, you know, my spokes or something like that. When the actual cable itself fell out of the housing, as I'm going on the freeway, it could have gotten stuck into my spokes and, you know, done all sorts of damage, and, you know, possibly thrown me off the bike or whatever. So basically, as soon as I realized that's what was going on, I just, you know, went to find some place where I could pull over, which I pulled over, and the battery on my GoPro had basically died. So I had to record this part with my cell phone. But so there is
my
the
speedometer cable decided
the housing
to,
for the cable.
Unscrew on me. And
so just reattach
the entire center of it came out while I was driving down the freeway.
So you've got a line that runs through there.
So it's going to look down,
square ends.
And horrible lighting here. And I have no speed. So I didn't realize what had happened. I assumed the washer inside of here had gone flat on me.
See, I just said that.
And I was like, I can take care of that when I get home or tomorrow. Well, it turns out, again, horrible lighting, it unscrewed, and then the center cable that runs from my front wheel up through the bike and up to my speedometer is no more.
So I did
Which just means
brightness and contrast.
another part I get to order for my bike.
So you can see. I mean, the video
So
itself is really dark.
I'll let you guys see that.
Alright, so now it's the next day, and I'm going to be going and fixing that up. So head out to the garage, pull my bike out, get that someplace where I can actually work on it, and cluttered garage, so, you know, it's a not a super light bike, but it's light enough that I can, you know, pull it sideways and things like that, get it maneuvered someplace where I can work on it, as you can see right there. I had actually replaced the speedometer once before. Last time I had replaced it, the housing that was still in place. This time the outer casing on it had broken where it actually threads on, and so that broke off completely. So here's the old housing with the old cable in it, the actual cable itself didn't have anything wrong with it. It was just the housing. So basically what I'm going to do is just take the actual speedometer cable out of the old housing, slip it into the new housing, make sure I got some lubricating oil in there. I'm going to be using the ACF 50. And so getting a bottle of that. And let's see how to set this up. So once again, using ACF 50, just going to pull the old cable out, which the entire process of actually switching it out only took like 5 minutes, which you're going to end up seeing the entire thing. I haven't cut any out of the actual piston, so you're pulling the old one out, cleaning it off with the rag, because obviously you don't want contaminants in there that as it spins, you have filth inside that takes down on the integrity of the cable or the housing. And there was something on the cable. So then I shall unscrew the... Ooh. So that's where it had undone the previous day when I was out on the freeway. The threading just, it was loosened up and started hanging down, and the whole unit came out. The next day when I was, riding in that same area, I tried looking on the ground to see it, and I didn't see it anywhere. I was hoping I'd, at least find it. I mean, if I found it, I would have, probably pulled over and picked it up, depending on location and that. But I never found it on the side of the road. So I'm going to go just take some of the ACF 50 and pour it in to the housing. This way, as I feed the speedometer cable in there, it'll get coated nicely and run the ACF 50 up the entire housing. And then that's also a anti-corrosive compound, so I don't really have to worry about it, rusting or anything. And basically just feed it right on in there, make sure it's clean before it gets in there, as it was just laying on the ground. The cable itself is, it can go in either way. Both ends have, it's a round cable, and then the final 2-3 inches of it are square, so that it actually can twist it. And so it's just push it in there, twist it a little bit to make sure it locks in with the speedometer up on the top, and just screw it back into place. Feed it into the hole on the front there that it locks in place with the little washery setup. Tighten it on up. Again, you can't really get like any pliers or anything in there, so it is all basically just finger tighten it. But this was replaced, as of when I'm doing this video, probably 4 or 5 months ago, and it's still working fine. So that finger tightening was enough. I don't know why it loosened up originally, but it's holding up now. And so we're gonna just do a little bit of cleaning up around there. Put stuff that I used away, and then I'll go just push the bike forwards and try pushing it fast enough that I can see the speedometer move, that I know it's up and running. So hard part is going to be putting the camera someplace where you can see the speedometer. And now to push it nice and fast.